This is Lauren.
This is Trey.
And this
is the Partnership Podcast.
As far as opinions and our opinions only. We'll see.
We'll see as far as, because I do have final edit.
You do.
When she tells me I can do certain things, I do have final edit. So. Okay, so this was actually rather serendipitous because we watched episode 1 through 5, and little did we know, because we do a lot of preparation for this show.
We worked so hard to prepare for
this podcast. We
worked
so hard to prepare for this podcast where we didn't look up how many episodes there were, and there was one more. So it's a six-part season. So we watched episodes 1 through 5. That is part 1. And then episode 6 we just watched last night, which was the culmination of, I don't know if they're bringing back another season. They got to be, especially if it's this good.
Please.
It was so fucking good. What did you take away from the final episode?
I was not expecting it to wrap that quickly. So the whole episode I was prepping for.
Let's do spoiler alerts also. Fuck it. Right? Can't we just do it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, great.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Say it again.
Spoiler alert. Because I thought it had like 12 episodes or 14, I was like, oh no, this is going to be that part of a storyline where things are sweet, but then they get really bad again.
Yeah.
So the whole episode was just bracing my sweetheart of, oh God, now they're going to need to go through the relational experiences that other relationships do. Almost like Nobody Wants This. How season 2 of Nobody Wants This. So if they do bring this back, I expect we're going to see some of the obstacles that folks in a chosen long-term relationship
100%.
go through, right? So part of me was very relieved, but I thought it was so beautiful. The softening, the love that I'm going to weep, the love that they are able to provide for one another. So in my work, it's fascinating how often opposites attract. And throughout the season, we are hearing, "You're so boring," okay, from Ilya to Shane. And what boring is another word for is safe and stable. And so as we get to know Ilya's backstory and see how much disharmony there is, and then in episode 6, we get to learn more about his mama, who he loved so much. And we get to see him kind of melt into Shane's arms. And Shane doesn't become more crazy and rebellious and like morph to that. Shane doesn't. Shane is very grounded. And I said this the last time we recorded, that I love the presence of family in these stories. And we see these grounded parents who have given their child, yes, albeit are pushing him into the spotlight to get, these partnerships with Rolex and this and that, right? But they love him so much. And he is able to provide for Ilya a safe haven and a secure base. And it's like watching Ilya's body remember this. I love how almost childlike and playful he became throughout the whole episode. They light that fire at one point outside, and he goes, "What are we supposed to do? Just look at it?" And Shane's like, "Uh-huh." We look at it. Shane doesn't go, "Oh," like he's not embarrassed. What I really love in episode 6 is we see Shane really come into himself. He doesn't say, "Oh, is this not cool?" Even when Ilya gets in his car, he's like, "What is this?" And he's like, "It's a British car. It's very practical. It drives well in the snow."
It was a Range Rover. Yeah.
It's a beautiful car.
Yeah.
Like
I thought it was going to be a Subaru.
Yeah,
or something.
Subaru, Volvo, like something that does well in the mountains.
Sure.
I mean, like where it snows a lot. It was just, God, as a sexuality professional, I spend a lot of time talking about the cornerstones of eroticism and why shows like this are so titillating and blah, blah, blah. But this one got me like in the gut. This one was beautiful. I want to stop there and ask you a question, but then I want to talk about like the parents and the coming out and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. What do you think of the finale?
It was great. It's what I'm learning about right now, studying the Wheel of Consent, Dr. Betty Martin, and Robin Dalton's work, and as well as many others. One of the most difficult things for a person to do is truly ask for what they want without apology and exactly what they want. It's a very scary thing to do. So it was an unwinding and a softening of these two men truly asking for what they wanted, and kind of, is this okay? Is this okay? Is this okay? Before the moment of, true beauty, where these two men is like, I want to be with you and I love you. God. Like, I want a future with you. I just want to be with you. I love you. Which is like, babe, it's what we did. At the end of 2019, we hardly knew each other. We fell deeply in love with each other. And then me driving away after we spent our days together at the resort, I was like, okay, how do I now align myself with her? How am I going to be with her now?
Which there's that scene where Shane's up in the middle of the night and he wakes up Ilya.
And he's figuring out, how does this work? How does our future align together? They're both superstar hockey players, like multi-million-dollar. So they were the first pick and the second pick in the draft, which is so fun. You said softening. Mm-hmm. What do you mean by that? What is softening in regards to this?
Because of our families of origin and cultures. This is regardless of sexual orientation. So many of us have had to put on this armor of, it's all up to me. I'll do it all myself. And please hear me. Those are safety-seeking behaviors. Those are survival tools. I am so thankful for yours and mine and every single one of my clients and every single audience member's tools that they utilized to stay safe and to get out, possibly. For him, it was hockey. And if we are not aware, that thing that got us out could keep us alone forever. Because hyper independence, I do it all myself, I don't need anyone, is a recipe for disaster, a recipe for isolation, a recipe for ending your life all alone. And please hear me, I am all for interdependence, interdependence, this understanding of my needs or my responsibility. I can put my wants forward, my desires forward, to my friends, to professionals, to you. I have such celebration for separateness. I think it is lovely. And what we got to see, especially in episode 5 and 6 of Heated Rivalry, is this coming home to self through relationship. I'm always saying that when we're wounded in relationship, we heal in relationship, and we got to see that. We got to see, oh, this human is safe enough for my nervous system to exhale. It's what happened when I first met you at the hotel in San Diego. My whole nervous system went, because you had done the work on yourself. You were safe in yourself. You were just yourself. It is my hope for everybody that it's not an excessive amount of work to do, that we, if we want to heal the world, we heal ourselves, we work on ourselves, we tool up, we get coaching, therapy, mentorship, books, podcast, YouTube University, so that, when we meet another, they can maybe go, there is space for me to unwind here. There is space for me to soften, because they're not going to inflict harm intentionally, maybe accidentally, but maybe they have tools to repair. And so And throughout the whole show, we are watching Shane's character build a life of security. And even Ilya asks him in the last episode, do you always do this? And he says, just like when it comes to you, like just for this. But I would argue, no, he always has done this. He is shoring up his future. He is building homes. He is making wise investments. He is doing these things that are just part of his nature and most likely came from his parents who love him, who have also done the same. You see the parents' house later in the show, and it's very modest. It's not like crazy, but it's just loving, and it's just a house. You see the same with Kip's dad. It's just an apartment. That ability to soften inside of relationship, which is interesting because this fantasy bond book that I'm reading talks a lot about how our friendships can also provide this secure base and safe haven.
Yes.
It does not need to be, and I need the audience to hear this, it does not need to be a romantic relationship. Healthy, thriving friendships can be an antidote as well, especially if we do the work to repair when we accidentally harm inside of those too, when we don't write them off. When you've spoken about this, I want to say just a couple weeks ago. It is not that either of these beautiful men became weak. Softening to me goes, I'm safe to share my wants, to resume childlike behaviors, being goofy, letting someone see our silly, right? There was lots of wrestling in episode 6, lots of playfulness, lots of, he's playing in the water.
It's beautiful because their play becomes like hyper competitive so quickly.
Yes, so quickly. And I loved that part.
It's
like
great.
The show is so good because there's even a moment where they're like playing soccer outside and they're just kicking the ball around.
Then
but
it
they hired great athletes. Like those guys, their footwork, and I was like, I want to know more about these two guys.
The footwork was okay, but it's such a beautiful little nugget of like hyper competitiveness
Yes.
because they're both Stanley Cup winners or whatever they call the cup.
Right.
They're both top 5 draft picks. They're both I think MVPs, multimillionaires. It's neat.
And who was ever directing, or those two, did a great job of it. We weren't far away from competition ever.
Never.
Oh, I love that
Walking
moment.
up the stairs turned into a race.
We don't do that. Never.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the coming out moment with the family?
Absolutely.
What did you think of that?
Okay, because like the entire show, this building up 5 episodes of like, when are they going to get caught? So the whole premise was we're going to go to the summer house. We're going to be with each other for 2 weeks. It's going to be very private. I told my parents I'm on like a silent retreat or something like that. There was such a funny line where it's like anybody but you would say that you're full of shit, but you could get away with it. So
it's like, they'll actually believe that.
They were in the water. They were walking up from the lake, and I think they're kissing, touching each other. And the dad was in the kitchen because mom and dad's house is down the street, I'm assuming. And then dad leaves before they could get inside, and Shane has a freak out, and it was so beautiful to watch Ilya just comfort him and say, hey, like, they're your parents, they'll talk to you. Like, this is okay. I'm going to be there. I got you. They'll talk to you. It was such a beautiful arc of watching Ilya soften and support versus deflect and protect himself. He was just like, let's go talk to them. They'll talk to you. And it was probably a beautiful renegotiation of Ilya because seeing his family dynamic, he couldn't talk about anything with his father and his brother. Nothing of substance, of vulnerability. So they got in the car, and it was... I loved it when they finally got there to mom and dad's house, and Shane said they almost came as the adults. And these are both men in their, I'm assuming, mid to late 20s at this point. And Shane just said, hey, let's all sit down. We need to talk about something. And I think the mom's like, what? And he's like, oh, the fact that I'm gay. And she goes, you're what? let's all have a seat. And so they all got tea and they talked about it. And yeah, both of the guys got to be really vulnerable, where it's like, yeah, this is the guy I'm in love with, and this is the guy I want to be with, and we're setting up to have a life with each other, and maybe we can keep it under wraps until we both retire, which is Lord knows whenever. Hockey players play into their late 30s and 40s. They play forever, hockey players. And then the mom's like, why? Like, let's talk about that. Like, because we talk about a lot, you and I, honey, the difference between secrecy and privacy. And I think secrets eat away at you. Privacy's privacy, and that's for a reason, but like secrets I believe they erode you. So it was just a beautiful moment where everybody got the support that they needed, and they had a conversation as curious adults. There was no yelling. There was no crying by the parents. There was no of that, like, kind of the typical stuff that we saw when someone came out of, like, how could you? And there was a really pretty moment where Shane was talking to his mom outside saying, like, I tried really hard with women. And she said, I'm sorry that if I ever gave you, like, the indication that you needed to. Because that is nothing you need to apologize for. You get to be who you want to be, so.
I am deeply hopeful that we continue to have media depictions of adult parents apologizing. Because there's not many in real life who have the tools or the bravery to do so. And I thought of all of the beautiful men who could use those exact words. From parents, from teammates, from friends, of I am so sorry that you ever thought that you would not be celebrated, or that I would not accept you, or that I would be disappointed in you. I long for a day when there is no coming out. There is endless curiosity about who our children and our friends will love. And that's it. It was beautiful. And it was the correct thing to say. Because as a parent, it is our job. We're the parent. And it doesn't matter that he's a grown adult now. She absolutely needed to apologize for the impact her actions had. Whether it was not openly asking, about was there anyone he was into, not for pushing the Spanish princess or whatever, she threw out at some point. There is such a heteronormative narrative still. And one of the ways parents can help is by not assuming. If grandpa or aunt or uncle says, oh, wow, they're going to break a lot of girls' hearts, right? Throwing in, or boys, or humans. I wept at that point because I just thought of so many of the beautiful men in our lives and so many of the beautiful male clients that I work with who will never get that. They'll never get it.
If they're never going to get it, say from their family members, which Boy, as you get older, you come to find out how little you get from family members. I'm speaking for the majority.
Yeah, a majority of us.
What's a good renegotiation of that? I'm just going to check the time on the thing.
I think we're fine.
We got 10 minutes. 9 minutes on there.
We can restart. Great question. That is when the presence of a safe and secure adult of any kind can be helpful. So research shows amazing things, including that someone playing the role of parent, whether it's through a renegotiation of trauma through play exercise, or whether it is the presence of a therapist or a coach or a mentor, that our bodies will never stop needing that form of love, but that somebody else can take it on. I had a client just the other day tell me that our work together over the years has helped her really, really view her family with clearer lenses, remove them off a pedestal, which had made her feel that she was bad and they were good. So she moved them off the pedestal and now can look at them as just humans, flawed humans who have good parts and bad parts, just like all of us. And there is a certain amount of affection and celebration and validation that this client in particular is not going to get from their mother. And in tears, this client got to say this past Friday, but I get it in here. You see the work I put in. You cheer for me. You have believed in me. That's one of the greatest gifts that I get to do, which is hold belief for my clients. It's what my mentors and my coaches and my therapists get to do as well. And so never undervalue the presence of a safe and secure adult in your life. Yes, it could be a friend too. It could totally be a friend too. But I think there is something really special about it being a person slightly older or who's gone down the path a little further than you and who's done some work, right? So if you are in a non-heteronormative body and seek out someone who can affirm your sexual orientation. Seek out someone who can affirm your gender identity and your expression. You deserve that. We all deserve that. Yeah. It's important. And I think we got to see just how important through this show, of all things. You know what? Did we talk about Scott Hunter's the moment when he brought Kip down on the ice last time? I know we weren't doing spoilers. Yeah. What did you think of that moment? And what do you think of his role of modeling?
Yeah. Okay. So Hunter, different hockey player, different love story, still has to do with gay sex hockey. He, fell in love with a guy at the smoothie place. They started dating. They were together for 2 months. He needed to keep it closeted. He ended up winning the cup and the MVP award, and they brought all the family out on the ice. And then he called down his person down on the ice, and then they did a heavy makeout sesh on the ice, and it gave actually Ilya the courage of we're going to the cottage house. It was beautiful. He wanted to celebrate with his person that he loved. This was the accomplishment that he wanted, that he'd been training his whole life for, to win the whole fucking thing. And then he wanted to make out with the person he wanted to make out with. And I think that rules. You see how jacked both of those guys are? How fucking insanely ripped? All the guys in this show are just incredibly just jacked. You know how fucking hard that shit is?
Even Kip's character, which he's an art major, and
fucking grad student Kip was so ripped.
They were all so beautiful. I was like, oh my God.
So ripped. You know how fucking difficult that shit is to get to that body.
Wait, I have something to say. I have something to say that is not about their beautiful bodies. It's going back to your Wheel of Consent. It's so hard to ask for what we want.
Yeah.
And Dr. Betty Martin says.
Especially when it comes to sex.
Yes, but here I'm staying on this. Wait, I'm staying on Scott Hunter and Kip for a second. Here's the cool thing that I have witnessed countless times. Standing authentically in our wanting while giving the other person agency to say whether or not they are allowing or are willing makes us people full of more integrity and simultaneously gives others permission to do the same thing.
Correct.
I think so many scripts have told us selfish to want, selfish, bad, don't center your wants, or that people who do center their wants are egotistical narcissists. No. I believe that as long as it is good and right and true, which loving the person that you love is good and right and true, it gives others the permission to do the same. And we got to watch it in action, and I think it happens globally. That when we stand in our authentic wanting and we cease to follow our just outdated archaic scripts that are old, let them go. It gives others permission to do the same. And back to our seeking out an older mentor type of thing, it was so crucial that someone of Scott Hunter's, we're hearing like podcasters at all times, like kind of like update us on Scott Hunter, and he's been in the league for so long, and he has good seasons and bad seasons. And we need sometimes a person in a position of authority or seniorship. What's the word? They're a senior in their field to lead the way. And I know they don't always want to. And Scott really struck me as a very private person too, like a quiet, introverted person. And yeah, that was a really beautiful moment too. Mm-hmm. The permission that it granted. I mean, immediately Ilya got on the phone and was like, I'm coming to the cottage house.
And also now Hunter gets to live the life that he wants to. Like, where if he wants to go out with his guy, he doesn't have to wear a baseball cap and sunglasses.
Right.
If he wants to go to a gay bar, he can go to a gay bar now.
Yes. Okay.
And like people are gonna give him shade, but like fuck it. Like, dude, it's 2026. Like, if you got a problem with gay people, get the fuck out of here. You're fucking stupid.
Why do you think sport is
I'll tell you to your face also.
Yes, I know you would.
You're stupid.
Why do you think sport is one of the last places to be really holding on to homophobia?
I don't know if they are.
Okay. I
genuinely
play devil's
don't.
advocate for me.
I don't know if they are. Like, sport is at the very highest levels. That's a young man's game, and I don't know if the stigma that might be from. I'm 41, my generation, and the generations that are older than me. I don't know if the younger generations are holding on to that. I truly don't. I think the grip gets a little less and less every 5 to 10 years. This isn't build your own omelet.
I found it so powerful in Scott's MVP speech where he said, I wondered at a young age if I was the thing that people used as a slur.
Yeah.
And I would so like us to be done. Yeah, with using specifically the word gay in a derogatory way. Again, like you said, it's 2026. This implication, that gay is in some way weird, weak, lesser than. Done with it in the same way that I am done with using feminine terms to describe a put down. I am so over it. It's like, can we get more creative? I am here for teasing although I'm bad at it. Last night I tried to tease Trey and I was just offensive. I can't do it. I'm just bad.
Gay and feminine jokes, if they're jokes, if they're funny, I think that's great.
Okay.
But if they're to discourage or other someone or put someone down, well, that's not funny. What I'm trying to say is gay jokes are some of my favorite things in the world. But not supporting that or treating someone differently because of their sexual orientation is absurd to me. Just like feminine and sexist jokes. I find them very funny when they're done correctly, when they're actually funny. But to treat someone less than simply because you are a woman is nonsense to me.
Yeah. And I think the world's finest comedians understand this because they are truth tellers. My fear, and it's okay if we agree to disagree on this one, is that these jokes get disseminated. I cannot speak today. It's a good thing that we're doing this because I have a full day of clients.
You're doing great,
they get assimilated down to the masses, right? In the same way high fashion gets assimilated down to the masses, right?
Okay.
Like a couture sweater becomes what we get at Kohl's.
Yeah.
Devil Wears Prada. Cerulean blue. And they are used in locker rooms still.
That'll
and in
always
towns
be the case.
like me. Mine.
That'll always be the case. Yeah.
I know. And
But then to go out and treat somebody differently or to put them down or to use that against them, their sexual orientation, I think it's really nasty things. I think that's where I draw the fucking line. Like, kiss my ass. This is maybe a topic, like an entirely different topic.
no, I think this is the topic, right? Is that, okay, so the obstacle that all of these beautiful, beautiful men in this show are overcoming is the not okayness of their sexual orientation. And I work on this with so many clients. This idea of our entire lives, we have had an obstacle to the one we love. And so what does that do to our sexual functioning once I can't wait to see, I hope there's a season 2 because I would love to consult on it, whoever's out there in the world, because what can happen when we then find stability is we're bored out of our minds and we can't become turned on anymore. And then we go seeking more risky scenarios because we're no longer threatened when our sexuality is literally forged in the secret places. It becomes so detrimental to everyone. So I long for a world, again, in which being gay doesn't need to be secret. Not at all, because you're exactly right. It will erode. It will erode.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think the premise is incredibly hot and intriguing simply because in sport, it's still not okay to be gay. And again,
There's definitely a stigma as far as like them discriminating against outwardly homosexual players. I don't know if that's happening, say, in the leagues that I look at, like the NFL. That's the one I watch the closest. I believe there's only one openly gay player.
how many players are in the league?
Maybe 2,000, give or take. So, yeah, I believe there's one, and he's a starter, and he gets paid very well, and you never hear about it, which is a good thing.
Right. I mean,
It's like, hey, number 99, the gay one.
Also,
it's like, no.
exactly. I also don't hear
You
about.
just don't hear about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that our audience, especially, knows your background, knows your love of sport, and I think this is why they are interested in our perspective on this, and they know my connection to gay men.
Do you have any questions for me, like openly loving gay jokes and then supporting the gay community?
No, here's, you said this on the previous recording, which is going to be, in this same podcast, that you grew up in Long Beach, California, and I know your allyship. I know how much you love our buddies, and that it's not in your body. It is a conundrum for me to exist in this community, and I hear the jokes you make, and I hear the jokes my brothers make, and your hearts are very different. And they're the same jokes. So I don't really have questions, but I don't know how to sort it in my body. Wait, it makes it okay because you have gay friends?
I don't know.
Right? I don't know.
I don't really know where it sits.
I don't know. I know how much you love our gay friends. I know it in my bones. I know you would fight for them. I know you would protect them at all costs. Like, please hear me. I'm not questioning that.
Yeah,
but I grew up with a different kind of man.
Yeah, I get that. And then if they were to come to me and say, like, hey, this isn't cool, like what you're doing, I'd have to seriously assess that because I respect where they're coming from.
Yeah. Maybe it's a good question. Maybe when we brunch on Sunday with best friend Jay, which we haven't confirmed.
See, the thing is also, like, that's part of truly being assimilated in a community where you get to make gay jokes together.
You do, and he loves them.
Yeah, it's so fun when we get to make gay jokes together. And then I spent a half decade in football where I worked with 90% black coaches.
Yeah.
And that's part of true assimilation where we could make fun of each other's culture.
No, exactly.
There was a guy I used to work with, and he, like, a bunch of coaches, and he's like, Trey, you want a nacho? And I'm like, no, I don't want a nacho. He's like, oh, you don't want to eat with black people? You don't want to eat with black people? And I go, that's exactly right, coach. I'd never want to eat with black people. And everybody just started laughing their asses off. What was the thing? Yeah, we keep Trey around so he could talk to the cops. Shit like that.
Yes.
So, Trey, cops are here. Go talk to him. What's the problem, officers? You got to keep it 100. Say it, Trey. 100. No, 100. 100. Yeah.
Yes. No.
Yeah, so that's the part of being assimilated, like, with cultures.
And that, we say this all the time, trust is earned through trustworthy behavior.
God damn, when I first got here, I don't know if you're listening to this for the first time, I live in Central Virginia, and I came from essentially Los Angeles, California. So many weird motherfucking white people, man. Like, so many weird white people. I felt out of place. Because I didn't come from this culture.
No.
I blend in, but boy, oh boy, ugh. And then the more I found out about what guys like me, guys my age and older, were raised with, Jesus, it's a shock. And I have a deep level of distrust for men older than me within this community, for how they were raised and what they were led to believe. Where people, women, less them. I don't know how they feel about minorities. See, they keep that shit a secret. It's not private. It's a secret, and sometimes it's not so much of a secret. Anyway.
No, I'm glad we went down this road because the anger that you can probably feel inside of me is absolutely not geared towards you. It is directed towards the types of white men in sport I grew up with who perpetuated a heteronormative narrative and were incredibly homophobic and sexist and racist. And yeah, so it sits in my body in a strange way, and it is why I feel like shows like Heated Rivalry are so important and beautiful and good. Cute moment that I was just remembering is when they're like, how long has this been going on? And they're like trying to go back, and they're like, oh, you guys had like crazy chemistry at that All-Star game. And Ilya's like, no, before that. And the mom's like, when? And Shane goes, since our rookie season. And then Ilya's like,
No.
Before that. But Shane doesn't want to like share like it was just fucking in the beginning, you know? Which is how so many relationships start, right? And we would never be weirded out if it was a hetero relationship. But since it's a gay relationship and they're just fucking.
We slept together on the first
Yes,
night.
we did. People ask me at Soho House all the time. They're like, should I have sex right away? And I'm always like,
Maybe yes, maybe no.
maybe yes, maybe no. I was like, I did. Oops.
Yep.
Meant for it to be a one night stand.
Yep.
Whoops.
Yep.
Whoops.
Anything else, baby?
No, anything I need to clear up. I don't want you to feel.
Is there anything I need to clear up?
No, I hope for more men in sport to be allies and who just quickly respond with like, hey man, that's not cool. Like who stand up for phrases in locker rooms that are just thrown around, who we never know who is listening. The show did a really good job of occasionally panning to someone's face when some term or phrase or something or other would be used to show who it was like, you know, like sinking into the body of. And so I just hope all of our listeners and you and I do our part to support every single solitary queer person in sport, because God, yeah, we are all such beautiful humans, and who we love and who we want to smush our genitals with and how we want to present ourselves should matter not when it comes to
adult consenting humans, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And what we want to do, like, as our profession or as our sports, like, they really don't matter.
No.
And as we can see so beautifully in this show, love is love is love. And, you know, being able to have, you know, the cookouts or the whatever, and bringing your partner in whatever gendered body
stuff,
like is just as beautiful as, the husbands and the wives. No, that really can be retired. That's just how everybody exists. So I loved the sex in the show. I loved the romance. I loved the cornerstones of eroticism. I fucking loved the parents. I loved the hockey. I loved the bodies.
Thank God they casted a bunch of like giant jacked guys. Thank fucking Christ. These fucking shows, man.
Anyway, no, thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, I hope there's a season 2. I'm very sad that we don't get to watch our hockey show. Every day, Trey and I've been like, our hockey show's tonight. Get in bed. We got to watch our hockey show. Thanks for coming to this episode of the Partnership Podcast. Please remember, these are our opinions, and our opinions only. Take what you like, leave the rest. You have a right to informed decision making and self-determination. I blanked out.
Self-care.
If you want to talk more about these things, you can go to sexedforyou.com/free consult and request a consult with me. Like, share, do all the juicy stuff. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.